Imagine a city of 1 million people and no bin lorries. You assume it must have been filthy beyond imagining. For some of them, that assumption is completely wrong. Some ancient cities ran covered drains under every street, connected to ordinary houses, not just palaces. One of those systems is still carrying water today, so they solved it. Case closed, except the people living there got sicker, not healthier. Start with the one almost nobody mentions. Around 2600 BC, in the Indus Valley, they laid covered drains out of precisely fitted brick, running under the streets, linking homes and public buildings. And it reached ordinary households, not only the wealthy ones. That's 4,500 years ago. 2,000 years before Rome built anything comparable. Rome's Great Sewer came around the 6th century BC. Brick, stone, and concrete channels draining the whole city. All of it emptying into the river running through town. Parts of it are still doing that job 2,500 years later. That is a genuinely great piece of engineering. Rome went further than pipes. Public latrines with many seats in one long room. No cubicles, no doors, and you sat next to strangers. Fountains, piped drinking water, even laws about sanitation. And in the corner, a sea sponge fixed to a wooden stick. One of them for the whole room. Rinse between users and water with salt or vinegar. Now, here's where I have to be honest with you. Nobody actually knows for certain what that sponge was for. The surviving Roman sources are frustratingly vague about it. Recent work suggests it may simply have been a toilet brush. Scholars are still arguing. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Before the ending, guess, did all this plumbing make Romans healthier? Well, whatever you just answered. Most people get it backwards. In 2016, a Cambridge researcher went looking for the answer. He studied what was left behind in ancient latrines and graves, specifically the eggs of intestinal parasites. With sewers and clean water, those numbers should fall. Compared with the Iron Age before Rome, they rose. Whipworm, roundworm, and the parasite behind dysentery. Not flat, gradually up as Rome spread. The famous public baths showed no clear health benefit either. Lice, it turns out, were everywhere as well. So how do you build all that and still lose? There are suggestions rather than settled answers. One is that the waste was collected and spread on crop fields. If it isn't left to break down long enough, the eggs survive. The food grows, and the whole thing arrives back on the plate. It was never removed. It was just taken on a longer route. The other suggestion is warm shared bath water, changed rarely, which leaves a lesson worth carrying around. Moving something out of sight is not the same as removing it. What actually helps is breaking the loop that brings it back. Rome built the pipes brilliantly and left the loop open. Modern sanitation works because it finally closes that loop. The pipes were never the clever bit. Knowing where they end is. It took us about 4,500 years to work that out. There's a whole map of curious questions waiting at hello.curioo.com.